Hey guys, my name is Eli Feiner and we're here in the Growth Lab channel talking about marketing, positioning, and sales for software developers. So, you're a developer and you want to build something that other people would want to use and importantly, pay for. You want to break free from your 9-to-5 job, be your own boss, maybe even get a little rich, nothing wrong about that. Unfortunately, the better you are as a developer, the harder it's going to be for you to become a successful entrepreneur. Think about how you approach building a product. You start with an idea, right? I see many people online on Reddit, indie hackers on Twitter, looking for an idea for a startup or asking if their idea is a good one. That's always where it seems to start, with an idea in your head. And then what do? You sit down to figure out a solution. Maybe you sketch some UI in Figma or on a piece of paper, or maybe you make a little diagram or a list. You're asking yourself, how would that look? What kind of features would it have? What tech are you going to use? How long is the build going to take? You're up in your head figuring this thing out like you would figure out a solution to a technical problem, or maybe a bug. Now, if you've been around for a while, you know you need to do some market research before diving into a build. So maybe you spend some time on Google to see if someone else built something similar. You're looking to see if your idea is truly novel, if you can bring something new into the world. And you may have heard many times before that having competition can actually be proof that your idea has value, but it's really hard to ignore that deep desire to create something new the world has never seen. The next thing you typically do is write some code. You tell yourself you're only going to do a little MVP just to see how it looks, just a core idea, just a draft. You think it's going to take an hour or two, but one thing leads to another, and you're already days into building your beautiful sandcastle by the time you realize it's actually a little more complicated than you originally thought. But you can't stop now. You have to get that MVP to some sort of completion before you can show it to people, right? And it might take a few weeks or even a few months before you have something you're comfortable with. Notice how building something comes before talking to people about it. Notice how your mind jumps almost instantly from seeing a problem to looking for a solution to actually building one. That's the engineering mindset, a solution-oriented mindset. This highly valuable approach helps us in our work as engineers, but it also causes us to build one failed product after another, hoping that one day we'll actually build something people will want to use and pay for. But hope is not a very good strategy. It's random, it's unpredictable, and the failure rate is way too high. We need a better approach, and that better approach starts with spending a lot more time in the problem space before we start thinking about solutions. Because solving the right problem is way more important than building a cool solution. Incidentally, figuring out the right problem to solve first is how real entrepreneurs approach things. Entrepreneurs believe that selling comes before building. In fact, they believe that selling is core to their business, whereas development can easily be outsourced. They believe that the quality of the product is secondary, and how well it meets the needs of the customer is where the rubber meets the road. They believe cool technical solutions can sometimes be useful, but are willing to do things manually if it means getting their business off the ground. When an entrepreneur has an idea, their first move is to talk to people about it, not to build something. And they'll actually avoid building anything until they see a real need in the market, ideally in the form of pre-sales. They're happy solving a common problem that already has solutions as long as they can find an underserved niche they can target. They aren't looking to be original, but to be effective. They aren't looking for something that everyone in the world will want to use in theory. They're looking for something that a specific group of people will pay for in practice. All of this is completely natural to someone who wants to start an online business but can't code. Since they don't have the ability to build things quickly, they naturally spend lots of time exploring problems to make sure they have the right problem when they do turn to building a solution. Now, in order to be a successful developer entrepreneur, you need to adopt a similar mindset. You need to abandon the hope of finding the next billion-dollar idea inside your head, and instead look for it out there in the heads of other people. You need to prioritize talking to potential users and customers above building things. You need to find a way to sell something without building it first, ideally without even having a prototype. You need to learn to wave your hands convincingly and to listen attentively. The good news is that you can do all this. You can actually do it better than non-technical entrepreneurs. All you need to do is to trust yourself to be able to build anything you come up with. If you've been doing this for a while, you probably know this already. Whether you're happy places in mobile apps or web front ends or sophisticated backends, you know you can learn any tech stack, any framework, and any programming language given a little time and effort. You can solve any algorithmic problem, any performance issue, any scalability requirement. Hell, you might even be able to center a div without looking it up first. You can trust yourself to build anything, given time. And if you can build anything, your hand-waving has a lot more weight to it. You can comfortably explore any direction a conversation goes in, entertain any futuristic idea, and you'll always have something to offer. And now, go out and find something worth building, something that will help other people and that will get you free. Talk to people, ask them questions, tell them about the magic of having their menial tasks automated and their messy workflows suddenly streamlined. Weave a story, wave your hands, and when they buy, only then, build it. And if you don't know how to do this, or already have a product you're struggling to find paying customers for, come join me at a Growth Lab cohort where we find product market fit and paying customers for awesome ideas that just aren't doing very well in the market. You can read more about it and apply to the next cohort at growthlab.so, and you can also follow me at FinerEllie on Twitter, where I talk a lot about marketing and sales techniques for hardcore developers. See you next time.